listening to the Digitally Irresistible podcast, where we cover the optimization of digital technologies and irresistible people. Brought to you by iQor. Each episode features someone who sheds a little more light on the ins and outs of delivering a great employee and customer experience that has a measurable impact on the business. And now, here's today's guest. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Digitally Irresistible podcast. I'm your host, Bernie Borges. Today's guest is Adaeze Nwamah. Welcome, Adaeze.
Thank you so much, Bernie. Nice to be here. Thank you for this
Great to have
opportunity.
you here, Adaeze. Yeah. You know, Adaeze, you run an operation at iQor in Texas with a team of about 60 people. And the program that you support began as a customer service focused team. But one day, you were informed that the scope of the client program was changing and changing right away. And you and your team embraced the opportunity. You ramped up very quickly, and you've achieved top performing status very quickly as well. So, on this episode, I want you to share your secret formula for achieving top performing status on this program so quickly. But first, Daisy, I want you to begin with your introduction. Tell us about your current role and then a little bit of your backstory and how you got to your current role.
Oh, definitely. So I am an operations manager in the Richardson location with about 60 employees. I started as an agent for iQor. I've been in iQor for 5 years, and I walked my way up, for from social media manager to a supervisor, and now an operations manager under the insurance industry. So I love it here. I love it in iQor, and we're just I'm just happy to be part of the team.
Fantastic. Well, tell us about the initial scope of this client program. You said it was an insurance program, right? Insurance client.
Correct.
So, when you first started overseeing this program, what was the initial scope?
Well, the initial scope was, to serve and solve, and those are the two models that we were going by. Of course, is insurance, and so we were more focused on making sure that we file claims and making sure that we're providing that excellent customer service. And so we pivoted to the serve, solve, and sell model recently.
Okay, so just to clarify that for viewers and listeners, when you say serve and solve, you mean that it's really just a pure customer service model, right? Is that do I
That's
have that
correct.
right?
Yes, Bernie, that's very correct. It was a pure customer service model, and it was mainly, making sure that the customers were taken care of based on their claims, and just making sure that we were providing that excellent customer service throughout the call. And so that was strictly 100% customer service experience.
Okay. Now, one day you found out that the client said, "Okay, we're going to expand this program and we're going to add the sell component, serve, solve, and sell." So, how did you and your team respond to that?
So about 2019, the client introduced that serve, solve, and sell model, and so now we have to introduce sales in our model, and it was very very interesting because we pivoted right through the gate. There were mainly training workshops that we had to do to ramp up quickly. We had to retrain, of course, our agents here, but everybody took it well, and it was very, very exciting because there were new opportunities too under that model. And we also, when we're hiring agents, we were making sure that our recruiting was aware, and we were basically following those three components to recruit as well. So it was pretty good. It was a 3-week training process. It was very, very interesting, full of knowledge. Everybody was very very excited to have it, and yeah, we really really executed.
Okay, fantastic. So it sounds like it impacted the ongoing recruiting process. But what about the people that were already there? You mentioned that there was a 3-week training program. What kind of training activities or tools were involved in that training?
Well, we were basically, trained on the six key behaviors and, product knowledge, product positioning. Since we were focusing on sales, it was more about, hey, where we identifying discovery behaviors, and also one of the main tools that we used was Scan. And so Scan did a great job in making sure that we were following and tracking our coachings, making sure that we were actually like if coaching effectively. So it was a good experience, and the people in the agents that we had that were already here, that were used to the customer service experience only, were pretty much excited because, of course, it's a 3-week program, but it really was detailed in the sense that we were coaching, the coaches were all bought in, and that made it a smoother transition for the agents to be bought in as well.
Okay. Now, for our viewers and our listeners, SCAN is something that's an iQor program, which we spell SQAN, right?
Right.
And so, can you unpack that a little bit? What's involved in the SCAN program?
So the SCAN program is actually an analytics tool, and is a coaching and developmental tool. The coaches, and when I say coaches, is the supervisors and the managers actually use that to track our coaching opportunities, making sure that we have a system, a report that we can go to, in ensuring that those supervisors are coaching effectively, their time has been managed. So it's a very, very broad spectrum, very, very convenient, very user friendly, and it really went a long way to in our transition, and we continue to use that.
Fantastic. So, let's talk about some of the results that you achieve. What kind of results have you achieved since
Oh,
converting to serve, solve, and
Bernie, I,
sell?
I am so excited to tell you that because as of last year, we won 9 times, 9 months out of 12, out of 12 months last year alone. And we're competing across 6 internal sites across the board. And these have been sites that have they're already used to the program. We were one of the last sites that they introduced that sell model to, and so we're so excited and pushing it out there. We're not just number one in sales, we're number one in customer service too. So we're combining that serve, solve, and sell model, and we're executing. Scan has helped us along the way, but I'm so proud of my people. I'm so proud of everyone on the team, because yeah, that's a great fit for us, and we're very excited for this year too.
At iQor, we're irresistible for a reason. We know a great CX starts with an amazing employee experience. Discover why customers love us and employees grow with us. Smile with iQor. Learn more at iQor.com.
Okay, so one more time, Adaeze. So, number one out of how many sites?
Number one out of 6 sites.
Wow.
6 sites.
9 months out of 12.
Nine
Okay.
months out of 12. Yes.
Wow. Well, congratulations. I'm sure your
Thank
team is
you.
very excited about that. I'm sure they're going to be very excited to see you sharing your success here on this podcast. So, if there was any one or two things, it doesn't have to be one or two, what would you attribute that success to, Adaeze?
I do believe it's, just that follow through with our systems, using our resources effectively, and also a sense of divine discontent. It's very, very interesting that a lot of people think that that's not positive, but it is very positive to have divine discontent. You are proud of yourself, you're proud of where you are, but there's always something that we can work on. And it's not a bad thing to work on yourself. And so I think I not I think I know that our team actually believes that. And every day when we're here to work, we strive to get there. We strive to the next phase. We strive for the best. So there's always that divine discontent within us to push and keep pushing while, pumped up and getting excited. So, yeah, those are the two things: using your resources effectively, like Scan, and having that divine discontent.
Wow, that's fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that.
You're
So,
welcome.
all right. Well, that leads me to our fun question, Daisy, and that is, Everybody wants to know when you're not working, what do you like to do for fun?
I love to cook and I love to watch Disney movies more than my kids. It's so weird. I've been watching Encanto, the new one, and that is out, and I've been singing the songs more than my kids. And they're like, "Mom, what is wrong with you?" I love Disney. I love Disney. I don't know why, but I love it. I love watching Disney movies.
Well, I guess it speaks to the kid that's in all of us, right?
I know, right?
One of my favorite cruises ever was a Disney cruise, which was filled with kids, and it was a blast.
Nice. Very nice.
That was years ago, by the way, back many years ago. Well, Daisy, I really appreciate you taking the time to share some of your story here on this episode of the Digitally Irresistible podcast. I'm really impressed and inspired by your leadership style, what you've achieved with your team, 9 out of 12 months to be the number one site, in this program, and how you pivoted to get there, and then the commitment to training and the commitment to just ongoing self-improvement is just very impressive, very inspiring. And I just want to thank you for sharing that here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Brittany. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Digitally Irresistible podcast, where we cover the optimization of digital technologies and irresistible people, delivering a great employee and customer experience that has a measurable impact on the business. Brought to you by iQor. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss future episodes.